Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's your host, your boy, George Mackay from the Straight Talk Wrestling Podcast, and we want to wish you and yours a very safe and happy holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Can't wait to get to 2022. It's going to be hopefully a lot better than 2021 and 2020 were. Stay safe, mask up, all that good stuff. And above all else, just enjoy the family, enjoy the food, enjoy the laughter, enjoy opening gifts, enjoy however you celebrate Christmas, enjoy it. Sledding, hot chocolate, whatever you do. And I want to say to everyone in the League of Extraordinary Podcasters, y'all are family. I appreciate you all. And yeah, man, can't wait to see the way we all kill it in 2022, just like we've been killing it the last couple of years. Much love to mi hermano, mi familia, my brothers in arms, everyone over there at the League of Extraordinary Podcasters. I am honored to be a member. From all of us here at Straight Talk, Merry Christmas.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Alex from Championship Online Podcast. I want to say a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's from the League of Extraordinary Podcast, where you can find all the best content from wrestling, from everything, from NXT, AEW, Impact, wherever. You're going to find it here in the League of Extraordinary Podcast. So please, if you're not following, liking, or subscribing, you should. Because I know for 2022, it's going to be very, very exciting. So again, have a happy holidays and a new year, and we'll see you guys in 2022.
What's going on, guys? It's Nick here from the FANATICS podcast. On behalf of myself, my co-hosts Gina and Joel from the podcast, we'd like to wish you all a happy holidays. Merry Christmas if you're celebrating Christmas. Happy Hanukkah if you're celebrating Hanukkah. Happy New Year to everyone. We hope you're able to celebrate these holidays with your loved ones. I hope you all are staying safe out there. I hope you guys get the gifts that you wanted, give out the gifts that you've gotten people, and hopefully have fun during these holidays. I know it's not the safest time, but we still hope you have fun. And God bless to everyone. I hope you guys have a happy new year as well. 2022 is almost upon us, so we hope that you guys are able to celebrate New Year's with your family and your loved ones, and hopefully start off the new year on a positive note and a great note. And obviously have a great 2022 year. 2021 was an amazing year for everybody here involved with the League of Extraordinary Podcasters. So I hope everyone out there has an amazing time as well and a great new year. So once again, on behalf of myself and the Ring Fanatics crew, Gina and Joel, we hope you guys have a happy holidays and a happy new year. Thank you, everyone.
What is going on all the way from the East Coast? It's your boy Kenny from the Call Up Podcast. Want to do something a little bit silly. Got a little hat here, Christmas decorations. You know what time it is, Christmas season. Just want to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas from the Call Up, from Kenny from the Call Up Podcast, of course, and from the League of Extraordinary Podcasters. Guys, thank you so much for letting me be a part of this amazing group of individuals, and here is to a healthy and prosperous 2022. Let's keep rocking. Love you guys. Take care.
What's good, everybody? This is Ted from the Rewind Wrestling Network, and I, on behalf of myself and all of my co-hosts, the beautiful Ivy, the wonderful ref Amy Veronica, the executive Nelio Cuomo Costa, OG Will, and the new mouth of the South, Mr. Tyler Peters, we all want to wish you the happiest of holidays. Please be safe out there. And also, we all want to wish you, on behalf of the League of Extraordinary Podcasts, the happiest of times during this holiday season. Enjoy, folks. Stay safe out there, and we will see you next time on Rewind Wrestling Radio.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Kenny Stones, A. Coffee Weaston. I'm here with the good brother, the D.O.E.
Let's go.
And we are the Dirty Heels. And we're here to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and
the filthy animals. We love y'all. Leave shit. You already know. Get out of us. You know the vibes. Hashtag Dirty Heels.
Dirty here with the Universal Wrestling Podcast. On behalf of myself and the League of Extraordinary Podcasters, we want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. And we also want to say thank you for all the support, all the views, all the downloads, all the likes. It really is awesome. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the new year. Peace.
The host of DB's One Ivan C here from Circle Debate Podcast on behalf of the Circle Debate Podcast family and on behalf of the League of Extraordinary Podcasts. Welcome to the Christmas Special show. Hope you guys enjoy. have a Merry Christmas. And here we go.
And welcome everyone to the League of Extraordinary Podcast, Xmas Special 2021, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the host of this one, IBC, here with my other hosts, my hermanos, my compadres, my brothers in arms around the world of the League of Extraordinary Podcast. That's what we're the League for a reason. And this is our second year anniversary doing our Christmas special. I'm proud of it, 3 years in. I'm going to introduce, first of all, mi hermano, who keeps it 100 with everyone, which is why it's called Straight Talk Wrestling for a reason. Ladies and gentlemen, he's wearing the hat too. That's right. That's right. Montero Cannon, ladies and gentlemen, mi hermano, George Mackay from Straight Talk Wrestling.
Hermano, mi familia, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here as always. I love the league, and I know I missed out on the last couple, but just work and life and everything kind of got in the way. But I'm glad to be here for Christmas and share with some of the guys that we started this whole kind of journey together, right? I mean, you guys were in the Christmas shout I did last year. I barely knew you guys, but everyone sent their shout outs, and it was great. And I'm honored to be here. Merry Christmas in advance to everyone that's taking the time out to watch this. Hope you have a safe and happy holiday. Don't drink and drive. Since JOFO's not here yet, anybody but Cody. And Happy New Year. That's it.
That's right. That's right. And of course, I have my two New Yorkers, my brothers in arms that I love you very, very much. So I'm going to introduce the fanatic himself, because he keeps it fanatic with his crew. That is Mr. Nick Arias from the Ring Fanatics podcast. How are you?
Thank you, Ivan, again for having me on. It was a blast last year doing this Christmas episode, and I can't wait to do it again this year with all the guys here. It was a blast last year. It's going to be a blast this year. Can't wait.
Of course, I got the man himself, who calls himself Mr. Hollywood for a reason, because he's not only just his host for the TITANTRON, he's also a co-host for Turnbuckle Tavern. He's also a co-host for classic classroom matches. And of course, he is Mr. Hollywood himself, the TITANTRON himself, Anthony.
First of all, I would like to say thank you to every single one of you for absolutely nothing. Because I am on your show, you immediately have tripled the amount of ratings that you... Okay, let me stop. Thank you guys for having me on. I am happy to be on yet another one of these. Again, very glad to be a part of this league, even though Hollywood may think otherwise. And I'm also wearing my Saskatchewan alpha male Brock Lesnar flannel, so you know that it's about to be a good day. So glad to do it, and let's get down to some Christmas business.
All right, yeah, let's get down to it. You know, what a year in what 2021 has been for all of us as podcasters and as professional wrestling fans. It's been ups and downs. So let's just start off with that first question, which I'll start off with you, Mr. Mackay. What has been your best and worst moments in professional wrestling overall?
You know what, this year there was, like you said, it was kind of like a heartbeat. There was a lot of peaks and valleys, a lot of challenges in wrestling, a lot of egos in wrestling. And I guess one of the bright spots for me was the fact that seeing a lot of younger talent get pushes, not necessarily in every product, but all across the board. MLW bringing up younger talent. You got AEW bringing Darby Allin kind of into the forefront. Finally, the payoff with Hangman Page. I mean, there's so many moments you could talk about, but also seeing the world of wrestling kind of clear itself up from last year's kind of speaking out movement, kind of moving forward, kind of trying to rectify itself and clean out locker rooms and get away from all the negativity that's behind the curtains that a lot of us fans don't know about. A lot of us fans like to triple out and say that, well, Marks, we know everything. The internet tells the truth. The internet is nothing but lies. To quote your former president, lies and complete poppycock. Okay, it's unfactual bullshit information. Fox News is incorrect. So to say that, like, the internet doesn't tell the whole truth for everything that we know. So that's definitely in terms of the product itself, one of the bright spots, and it pains me to say it, but I have to, even though he's not here, I have to acknowledge the tribal chief. Roman Reigns has been stellar as a heel. It fucking saddens me to my core to have to admit that, but it's the truth. He has really been elevating the WWE product anyways with what he brings to the table in this year. I think it's almost over a year now, or a year plus run that he's running on with that title. Obviously, the goal is for him to eradicate CM Punk's run and then just probably build it so it can be untouchable. That's probably the goal, because we have to erase everyone from history. We have to. We absolutely have to in the WWE. And obviously, the announcement of the Owen Hart Cup, super stoked for that. Super stoked that Martha Hart decided to work with the wrestling organization to bring a legacy, because anybody who watches my show knows that Owen Hart is like number one for me through and through. WrestleMania 10 is like my all-time favorite match. I could talk about that one till the cows come home. And then, of course, one of the downward spirals would probably have to be the owner of AEW. We talked kind of before we recorded. Tony Khan's ego is going to eat him alive. He talks, it's funny, the tweet, most recent one, just to touch on this quickly, was Fox News shouldn't concentrate on what I'm doing. They should just concentrate on, their own product and WWE's ratings. It's like, dude, you've been concentrating on nothing but WWE since day one. We even talked about WrestleMania with the carpet before we recorded. Like that's really my only downward spiral is I'm so sick and tired. If you got to put yourself out to the front of your roster, you have a problem. And we saw how that worked in the late 90s, early 2000s. Eric Bischoff and Ted Turner's egos overcame WCW. That's why they lost. Whereas Vince McMahon, yes, he did put himself in front of the camera, but he pushed a lot of talent out there as well. So you have to give the devil his due in that aspect. And I think that Tony Khan's ego will be as unruined. It's not going to bankrupt AEW in any way, shape, or form. They're going to continue to excel because we appreciate this roster and we appreciate the product. You can love a product and still hate the owner. Just like I have to painfully acknowledge Roman Reigns is like a great heel this year. Still sickens me to my core. But that's my take on the ups and downs of this year.
I love that. I love that. Damn. That's good shit. Good shit.
Good shit, damn it.
Good shit.
It's completely 150% truth. That comment was true. Thank you so much. And don't forget, I love you all, but you're fired.
So great. Just phenomenal statements there.
You do it better, yo.
You're doing good, man. You're doing good.
You did it. Yeah, you did it.
The devil you know is better than the devil you don't. And fucking Anthony. My only beef with Anthony is that him and I recorded an episode together, and I have yet to see it. So I'm just thinking, like, did I shit the bed?
No,
like,
no, you did.
What's wrong with him, Anthony? What's wrong?
I'm Canadian. It's
wow.
I mean, hey,
I
do a show with a Canadian. I mean, so, but I will send you that video because it should be out there soon, hopefully.
All right. No problem. But much love, dude. You guys are killing it. Everybody's killing it. Nick's killing it.
You
Dirty
too,
Heels
man.
is killing it. Ivan, the Circle of Debate crew's killing it. And Anthony, man, even though you're on a bit of a hiatus with school and stuff, you're just excelling. Like, I mean, for somebody who came late to the party as a fan, you know your shit. And again, it much like acknowledging Roman Reigns, I got to give the devil I know his due. And it's outstanding work from everybody.
That's right.
Thank you.
Hey, that's right. All right.
I had the honor, by the way, to have him on my episode first. Just saying. Anthony appeared on my show first, so okay.
I appeared on his show. Okay, Nick, he didn't appear on mine. I got to ask him to get on his show.
That's true.
That is true. That is true.
Take it away, Nick.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off with mine with the bad times in 2021 that ended off with a good note. I think in 2021, I guess in 2020 as well, I think what the downfalls were the tons and tons and tons of releases that happened in WWE throughout this year. A lot of surprising names got released, contracts expired, and a lot of names are no longer with the company. And it's sad to hear in general that these names are kind of had to lose their jobs for budget cuts. I don't know what those reasons were, but it's tough to see those people go and lose their jobs over. We don't know the real answer why, but it's tough to see that happen. And nobody should lose their job. I know there's a ton of other places they could work at, but it's just tough to see that happen. So that just sucked. And I guess for me, the uplifting part of this year, for me personally, what really the highlight of my year on 2021 in wrestling was, I guess, CM Punk's return. That was just the best moment, in my opinion, of 2021 in wrestling. After a 7-year hiatus, we did not know he was going to come. There were reports. Yeah, a lot of reports were out there saying he was going to return. I was one of those who didn't believe it until I saw it. So the fact that it did happen, and I'm glad it happened, the best moment in a while. One of the best crowd reactions, one of the best moment as a fan. I will be honest, I did cry a little when it happened. So I'll be honest with that part. That's how much it meant to me. So the fact that it happened for real was the moment that I'll never forget, even though I was at home watching it from TV. Must have been 10 times better for the people that were there. But that was the highlight. And the fact that he could still go after 7 years. I mean, yeah, he's done UFC work and MMA work on the side, so he must have been in still great shape. But, you know, 7 years not competing, he still had it, and I'm glad he still has it. So that was my highlight and my best moment of 2021 in wrestling.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, I don't hate on you. I felt the same way too. I was like, "Whoa, shit!" Finally, like,
yeah.
But I shit you not. I was just more like, "Nah, this is bullshit. I'm tired of it. I've been hearing it for so long.
Yeah.
He's gonna come back. I ain't gonna pay attention to it." And then when he finally did it on Rampage, I was like, "Holy shit!" He actually showed up.
It was a big moment.
It was a big moment. It was a very big moment. So
highly anticipated.
Absolutely. Young Anthony, talk to me, baby.
For me, I would say I'll start off with like the worst parts of the year. I would say honestly, just the first half of this year was just really bad, and that ties into one of my best moments. Just the first half of the year, like, you know, it was still a lot more calm because of the pandemic from last year carrying into this year. Lack of crowds definitely hurt a lot. Even with AEW still being at like Daly's place, it was like, all right, but I want to just go back to normal. So that was just like a rough time to be a fan. Nick mentioned the releases, like that was definitely hard too, especially for people that like, you know, me being like a younger fan, I would say like I'm very close to a lot of these wrestlers. Because it's kind of like the newer generation or whatever it may be. So like to see guys like Keith Lee, especially Bray Wyatt, and now recently Jeff Hardy, like to see these guys get cut, it's like, God damn it. Like I grew such a like relationship to them. Like I even mentioned it on the Thanksgiving show, like how thankful I was to see Jeff Hardy wrestle in WWE, because by the time that I became a fan, like I wasn't there for his WWE run. So now to see him leave, it's like, damn it, like it sucks so much. So you know, it was annoying, the releases for sure. But I would say this year, you know, outside of all the pandemic stuff and all of the nonsense from WWE outside of the ring, like I would say this year was a really actually good year for wrestling. And that's really because of, one, crowds coming back is probably like my number one thing. Like it added so much to shows, and with that came the return of a lot of moments, because like the first like half of the year and a lot of 2020, like you wouldn't really see a lot of big moments because I think companies were holding them back for when fans would come back. And like immediately you saw that with all the returns: Cena, Brock Lesnar, Punk, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, now even Shibata is coming back, like all these different names. Yeah, I know.
Like a child.
I was in Ned Flanders.
Yeah, you know,
Shibata,
like,
man. Oh God.
I know. I'm so happy for that. You know, like Becky Lynch, like all these different names coming back. It added so much to the wrestling. A lot of really good stories too, like the conclusion of Hangman Page getting that title easily has to be like one of the best stories of the year. Besides, like the second biggest story probably would just be like the return of Bryan Danielson, and heel Bryan Danielson, and all the stuff that he's doing is just phenomenal work. And I mean, like, you know, all of that in between, like I think it really came down to the crowds coming back. Because, you know, you wouldn't see John Cena and Brock Lesnar coming back to an empty arena. There was no shot of it happening. So I'm really happy that, you know, we got a lot of those moments. Yeah, I would say like those are my biggest things from this year, my biggest takeaways. Also, just a lot of really good wrestling. You know, I like the variety that we have carrying over from last year. I think that was really with AEW and everything now carrying into this year with independent wrestling coming back. You know, you have so much stuff going on, you know, even with ROH, you know, starting their hiatus, like, you know, their Final Battle show was phenomenal stuff. So there's something for everyone. I just watched my first GCW show yesterday. So I was, really excited with what I saw there. So a lot of really good stuff going on. And I think there's a lot to be excited for next year. Now that we're starting to see a return of normalcy for wrestling, as long as that's going to be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree.
Oh, hold on, Anthony. You didn't finish your list, man. You didn't finish your list. You were also very excited for season 2 of Road to the Top.
yeah. Cody Rhodes is #1 fan. How can you forget that?
See Cody Rhodes, Brandy Rhodes, QT Marshall.
You're gonna see Liberty grow up. That's your number.
Oh yeah, Liberty.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. Such a good show.
You're gonna see so much more of the Nightmare Factory. Like, it's gonna be great, man. It's
Oh
gonna be
my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know their names. I would joke around, but I literally don't know the Nightmare Factory. Oh, what do we call them, Ivan? The cutie pies?
The cutie pies.
The cutie
The
cutie
pies.
pie.
That's what we call it. Courtesy of Mike. Mike Lopez always says the cutie pies.
Yes.
The cutie pie.
Oh man, I agree with all the three of you guys.
Yeah.
The biggest downfall, yes, was the first quarter of 2021 was no crowd still. It was still empty arena, still Daisy's Place. Yes, it affected a lot of people. Then when we finally saw the crowd, you get that moment, even though you're not there, but it's like you feel like you're there with them. Like, oh shit, you finally feel the momentum from the crowd, and then like you missed that. It's been such a long time that we haven't had that. So I could say that that's one of the best moments too. Even the best moments was for me has been that a lot of these promotions are now on the rise again. Like I would say, like MLW. Believe it or not, George, I do listen. Because of you, I'm up to date of MLW. So, ladies and gentlemen, whoever watches MLW, be sure you subscribe to Straight Talk because they recap every other week. That's for sure. And because of you and Uncle Baba B, I'm up to date. And a lot of good shit's been happening there too. A lot for NWA as well. A lot for, Game Changer, how Anthony mentioned. I'm glad that these promotions are now being talked and now being spoken of, because back then they never been really brought upon them. Only just the two majors, whether AEW, WWE, or NXT, or, even Impact, but I'm glad that these three promotions are on the rise right now. And the unfortunate with the releases and then with the shutdown of Ring of Honor, which was the pinnacle, the pioneer of how you can correct if I'm wrong, but I feel like Ring of Honor was the pioneer that kind of helped, the creation of TNA, NWA TNA, and the creation of MLW itself.
The creation of AEW, like
yes. If there's no ROH, there's no AEW.
Yeah, there's no AEW. There's no AEW. Absolutely.
If Tony Khan was any kind of a guy, he would have stepped in and said, you know what? Because that was an audition for me to put money in, or for my daddy to put money in backing into AEW. I'm going to go ahead and buy ROH. I'm going to make them my developmental, and I'm going to keep them going, right? But instead, no, say, hey, you know what, Cody, like Nightmare Factory, fuck out of here.
Oh man, and the best moments too, as well, is that now that everybody's working together, we haven't really seen this such a long time since the old territory days. We really haven't seen that. Now we have everybody working together, putting each other's promotions over. Like not as much as AEW though. I'll say one thing about a flaw about that it's unfortunate they don't mention like other promotions that are helping them to like try to elevate their product. Like AAA, they don't really mention much of AAA, and even then yet AAA mentions AEW, but AEW doesn't mention AAA.
And that's what I mean. Same thing with Impact. Like that was my whole beef with the Forbidden Door. Like that was my beef with the Forbidden Door. Even when I was on the Turnbuckle Tavern podcast, like they schooled me and they made me change my opinion for sure. But that was my beef. My beef was like Impact. I don't think Impact really gained a lot from it. Yeah, okay, they gained ticket sales, they gained pay-per-view sales. It's great to have money coming in, but having Tony Khan on every single Tuesday or Thursday, whenever they switch, doing his ad campaigns with fucking Tony Schiavone, where they both look very awkward and very uncomfortable. Like seeing Tony Khan on camera is just awkward and uncomfortable. And
it got me too a little bit because it made me tune in every week. Like you said, like I was watching it, I would see the campaigns every week. I would watch it, be like, okay, who's appearing now from AEW, or vice versa, who's going to appear from Impact to AEW. But then once that, like, at a certain point, I was like, okay, I don't think it's happening. It's the same pattern every week.
Yeah,
I don't think anything is going to happen from it in terms of Impact's not benefiting at all.
Yeah, none of the
Things
Impact
happening.
guys got their chance to shine in AEW. We only
Exactly.
had a few appearances, and they were like a minute or two. But we had Kenny Omega. We had the Good Brothers going over there consistently. We had
Yeah.
Kenny Omega coming over to Impact consistently during that run, and it's great. Don't get me wrong; it elevated. Everybody made money. Money was made, yes,
Yeah.
but it didn't elevate a roster of 40 to 50 women and men in Impact that have been busting their ass and get no clout. And
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm an Impact faithful through and through. I'm an ROH faithful through and through. I'm an MLW faithful through and through. With AEW and WWE, I'm not going to lie, I waver. I do. I flip flop because if there's something that I want to see, like I don't watch the pay-per-views full out anymore. If there's something I want to see, I'll tune into a match and then it's off. I don't want to invest that much time in a product that's not going to invest in me. Whereas MLW has given me so much back, and all different other, and Impact as well. Like having the stars that I've had from there on the show, I'm forever grateful to Impact and what they've opened the doors for me and my show. So I just think that there should have been a lot more of an impact from Impact allowed to be made in AEW. And that's why I think my downward spiral is correct. Tony Khan's ego is going to be his undoing. Yeah, well, I'm sending you my champion, so like, give me TV time with Tony Schiavone. Why? Can't you just have somebody? Can't you have the movie trailer guy come up and say tomorrow on Rampage or tomorrow on Dynamite? The fuck do I got to see your face every day? Like, I don't want to see you. Fuck. Hi, Kenneth. Hi, buddy.
Oh, hey.
Hey, we have, because my other brother from another mother from Harlem, New York, because they give the people what they want, and that is Kofi Winston, the Dirty Heels podcast. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, fellas?
What's
What's going on? Been MIA for a while, but I'm here now. I'm here.
Back. I missed you. I haven't seen you. I haven't heard from you. It's been a minute.
Yeah, man. I've been MIA. Yeah. I've been MIA for a while. Some own little stuff going on, but I'm here.
Oh man. Now, I'll finish mine, and then I'll ask you very quickly. So the downfall obviously is the releases, but this should hopefully open an opportunity, like such as like how MLW is doing, Impact is doing. I wish Ring of Honor would have shut down because this could have been their chance. But one thing I'll give them credit, they paid their talent. That's why they went. They paid them. So I'll give them kudos for that. I as much as I hate to see them they shut down, but at least they paid their talents even with no crowd. They just still paid them whatever.
And they're still paying some of the roster till March. Some contractors still on until March.
Yep.
So even those guys are going to get another 2.5 months or so of money, and that's a testament to them. But you got the Sharks circling, right? Like I've heard WWE's already trying to make bids on their catalog, trying to bring that over to the Peacock network and all that stuff. So it's unfortunate to hear that the Sharks are circling, but April's not that far away. We could see something special because the way they ended Final Battle, which was hands down probably one of my favorite Final Battles of all time, the way they ended it, there's definitely open doors for them to just kick the door in come April. And I'm hoping that that's the case. I don't want to see him go.
Absolutely.
That's why I didn't mention it, because in my eyes, it hasn't happened yet. It's not real. Okay. It's not real.
No. Let's just not hope that, because the
it's
last
like Donald Trump being president. It never happened.
It's fake news.
Let's just hope not, because yes, I'm hearing that obviously the bidding war for the tape, for all the tapes, all the old, the libraries. That's what WWE wants. They just want that. Look what they did with Evolve. They just took the taping, the library, it took a couple of their talents, and that's it. And now it's kind of happened the same with Ring of Honor. But I'm hoping that they do not allow that, the St. Clair brothers. And even though I know that Vince McMahon has a big paycheck, but still, no, don't do it. Do not sell.
I think they're smart enough not to hand it over to them. I think they're smart enough not to do that.
Yeah.
Well, they would only give them like the last few
I would
years.
hand it over for like 25% stake in WWE. That would be my price. You want me to hand over my catalog? I want 25% of your fucking company so I can fix the shit you're doing. That's what I would say. And I also would invest some of that money into putting a carpet on the ramp.
Yeah, right.
All right. Let's go ask Kofi Winston. So the question is, what has been your best and worst moments in pro wrestling overall in 2021?
Oh man, I'm gonna say my best moment probably was Hangman Page winning the championship.
Okay.
I was really excited about Hangman winning the championship. I was really going for it. Him and Daniel Bryan said probably my favorite moments this year. My worst moment is probably the firings, man. You know, everybody that got fired, all these people, especially Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt, Keith Lee, Karrion Kross. So those probably my downs for the year right there for wrestling.
Yeah, man, it's fortunate. And then with Bray, you know, everybody's expecting him to come back. He's not gonna come back anytime soon. You know, obviously he's doing his projects.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think he's
He
taking
doesn't
They
need
got me
to
this
right
week.
now. He doesn't need to.
They almost got me
need to.
this week though for AEW. They almost got me at the end. I was like, oh, the lights went off, and
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, I was
Then-
like, it was either going to be him or the Briscoes, and then Sting and Darby came
Yeah.
out, and I was like,
yeah.
Yeah,
Said the same thing, though.
yeah,
Said the
the
same
same
thing.
thing. I think we all felt the same way.
Apparently
Yeah.
that movie that he's making is like a trilogy. So he's going to be tied up for the next 18 months. So I've heard.
Yeah.
So
oh wow,
you're not going to, and you know what? Good for him, man. Let him go recharge.
yeah,
He's
for
still
sure.
He still never even got over, you know, Brody's death, right? Like, I mean, there's still a lot of wounds there. So let him take his time. Believe me, I've been going through a lot these past couple weeks. Mental health is super important, man. And if you got to take time back and focus on yourself, and if the movie is going to help him do that, then all the power to him. Because if Bray Wyatt comes back at 75% or 50%, it won't be what we want to see. We want to see
Exactly.
Bray Wyatt. Fuck it. Give me 7 years. I'll wait patiently for 7 years, just like CM Punk, and I'll be the dude in the crowd crying. Because I mean, and anybody that shit all over that guy, fuck you, man. Because we all
Yeah.
cried.
Absolutely.
Anybody who shit all over that fucking guy, you can find the tallest bridge in the city you live in and jump. Because that was fucking complete disrespect, complete assness, narcissism at its finest. And those motherfuckers are the reason why a reality TV star was running your country for 4 fucking years.
Mm-hmm.
Facts of life, man.
Facts of life. That's for sure. Now, I know everybody feels different for their individual star, but I'm going to ask. I'll go back to you, Mr. Mikhail. In 2021, who has been the rising star? And not just on the AEW, WWE, but for you and for all of us to even acknowledge this individual and watch this person, grow and heading into 2022. So, teach us, we're going to acknowledge you. Let us know, like, who has been the rising star you've been an eye on all over this year, 2021, and that we should be watching for coming up next year for 2022.
You know what? I mean, I'll go from promotion to promotion because I think, again, there's the devils I don't know and there's devils I do know. So for each promotion, I'll start off with my 2 favorites. For Impact, Josh Alexander, he had a great fucking year. It's too bad that Moose stole the title from him. I'm still pissed off about that. Moose, okay. But the fact of the matter remains is Josh Alexander is a talent, and I really hope his contract is up very soon. I'm hoping that he stays with Impact because the exposure he's getting on Impact, he won't get being a mid-card player with Ethan Page in AEW. And I don't want the North to reunite in AEW because you're going to shit all over what the North did in Impact, and I don't want that. So I hope he stays with Impact. Also, Speedball Mike Bailey, he's coming up very soon.
Yes.
He's been signed by Impact. If you don't know who Speedball Mike Bailey is, please, for the love of fucking God, do your research. Anything, when this man hits, you feel it. I'm going to see this man tomorrow, and I cannot wait to see him on his last indie run before he hits the big time. So that's going to be something special. MLW, Hammer. It's your boy Hammer. It's my fucking boy Hammer. Okay, he's a modern day Hulk Hogan. This motherfucker makes me want to take my vitamins, say my prayers, and drink my fucking milk. He's a great grade A package all around. He's fucking hilarious. And also, I mean, I gotta again mention, if I'm going with MLW, I gotta mention Richard Holiday. He is fantastic. Nobody cuts a promo like Richard Holiday. There's only one person that does better, and that would be my daughter, because she slayed her version of his commercial and she rocked it out when she did the promo. So that's the only person who could compete him. But yeah, those guys. And also, if you don't know what MLW, keep an eye on them, because the judge, EJ Nduka, he is going to kick the doors down.
Yes.
And when him and Hammerstone collide, which will definitely be happening probably midway through 2022, you're going to see magic. And WWE was stupid as fuck to release a talent like this guy. Because what I've seen from him is nothing but impressive. EJ Nduka is the future of MLW. Hammer is right now, but EJ Nduka is the future. So keep your eyes on that. AEW, I got to give it up to the pillars. MJF, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy. Those 3 guys absolutely evolved themselves this year. MJF just keeps getting better with how he keeps kayfabe. Darby Allin, I'm a Darby Allin mark. He could do no wrong in my eye. I'm a Sting mark. So to have those two coincide, it's like watching my dad and my best friend like become best friends. It's awesome. Like Sting was like my childhood. So seeing those two fucking guys together is magic. And Hangman Page, I wasn't a fan of the whole drinking storyline that happened last year, but to see the payoff and how it worked, I love that. I loved all of that. And WWE, again, to be bluntly painful, Brock Lesnar is a face, Roman Reigns is a heel. There's something weirdly calming about it. It's almost like when you know, it's almost like when you know, none of us have ever experienced a hanging, but when you're about to hang or like old school English deaths, get your head chopped off by a guillotine and stuff like that, it's that weird sense of calm. You know it's coming. It's still fucked up, but somehow you enjoy it. Brock Lesnar smiling is also weird. I had no idea he had teeth. So that's something I learned in 2021. I had no idea. I also didn't know that they were so white, and his gums are flawless. Like, dude, your dentistry is fantastic.
Britt Baker.
No, but seriously, probably.
Yeah.
But those two guys, seeing those two guys in reverse roles is one of the few good things going. And also, I'm a big fan of women's wrestling, and to see Bianca Belair hold that strap up at WrestleMania. That was a moment for sure. That's a moment that I still cherish because both of my daughters were crying that night because they were so happy to see her hold the championship, right? So that's the biggest part of it. Watching my kids now fall in love with what I fell in love with. And seeing the smiles on their faces the way the smiles on my face were. So that was the coolest part about 2021, especially also seeing my 5-year-old get mixed up in it and not know anybody's name, but come up with nicknames for everybody. Oscar was the rainbow haired girl. Becky Lynch was the Lucky Charm. Bianca Belair was the hair whip. Like just the nicknames she would come up with were completely hilarious. But that's kids, right? They speak free. And thank God I never grew up from that phase. I'm still straight 100. My mouth gets me in constant trouble, but fuck it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I say I'm wrong. I own it. But if I'm right, even when I'm right and I might be wrong, I'm still right. Again, just to say, like there's stuff that I called indirectly and I was still right about it. Like there was one time I remember on MLW, I think it was one of the times you were on the show with me. I mentioned Ivan. I remember I mentioned All Japan Pro. Yes. And you were like, no, man. They're starting up with Dragon Gate or whatever. And then lo and behold, Tajiri and All Japan Pro is now working with MLW. So even though that day I was fucking wrong, I was still right, because I didn't know it was going to happen, but it happened. So to quote Terrence Howard and get rich or die trying, even when I'm wrong, I'm right. I might be wrong, but I'm still right at the end of the day. So I called that fucking shit.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I remember that. I remember that clearly. Nick.
So I'm going to do kind of the same format from each company. I think it'll make it easier because there's a lot of up and coming stars that I can name. So I'm just doing every company. First, I'm gonna start with WWE. I think for me to even though it kind of happened late, but definitely a lookout for 2022. I think it's gonna be Liv Morgan. She's definitely on the come up. Even if she doesn't win on this next pay-per-view, I think she's gonna have a big year. I think she's gonna have kind of like the same treatment as Bianca, but hopefully doesn't lose it in 26 seconds. But I think I think she'll have the same kind of like push from, maybe she hopefully she wins the Royal Rumble. Maybe she has a
she's your Royal Rumble winner, man. You called that shit.
She has to be.
Rumble winner, for sure.
And maybe hopefully she has a moment. She wins the championship. She has a great reign with it. Goes far with it. I highly doubt that it's going to go on the Brock again. But I think she's going to be the up and coming person to look out for in 2022 in WWE. In AEW personally, I think it's going to be Dante and Darius Martin.
Ooh.
The top flight. I'm going to go with them. I know Dante and Darius was out the entire year, but I think when he comes back, both of them are going to team up again, have a fantastic 2022. I know a lot of people are like expecting Darius to come back and like pair with him because of how Dante's been rolling this entire year, but I think they're going to come back together and stronger together as a team. I don't think they're going to split up. That's like something I don't see happening. So I think them two as a tag team, I think, I'm not saying they're going to win tag team gold next year, but they're definitely going to have big moments. Hopefully a pay-per-view match at the least minimum. I kind of want to see them have a big moment in 2022. I don't want to say I knew they're going to do well, but I kind of was a fan of them before they got signed. So I kind of knew of them beforehand, and I'm glad they're having their moment. I'm glad they got signed. They're having their moment, and I'm glad they are doing their thing in AEW. He as of right now, Dante doing his thing. I hope Darius comes back sooner rather than later, so that way they can team up again. That's something that I'm urging to see desperately. And yeah, those are my two top rising stars. I guess in the indie scene, I guess it's what's her name? Slamovich. She's
Oh, Masha.
Yeah, Masha Slamovich. Yeah.
You're
Yes.
gonna turn the fucking world on its ass, man. That
Yeah.
girl can fuck. I've seen that girl live. She can hit, and it fucking
Yeah.
I
hurts.
just saw her last weekend.
Yeah.
I just saw her last weekend twice.
Yeah.
Really, that's cool. She got my eye this year, so I knew she was going to be big, and I hope she does stuff with Impact because I know she signed. So I hope she's able to do a lot there, and I think she's going to have a great 2022 year. There's a whole bunch of other people I can name. It could probably be like a whole hour episode based on that, but those are the three that come to mind on top of my head for 2022 standouts.
Those are awesome picks, brother. Hell yeah. Good
Thank you.
shit. I love it. I love it. Good shit. Young Anthony.
So for the indies, I'll make it easy for everyone. Just watch everyone. Like everyone's going to be on their game.
For sure.
Especially with, with everything with the crowds coming back, like everyone on the indies are really going to try to make like themselves known. And with so much variety in wrestling, like everyone, I feel like everyone's just going to be on their game. So just watch for everyone. For AEW, they have so many young guys that it's like, I find it funny that their four pillars that they're calling them are all young guys. And with that, there are still guys underneath them that aren't even near the level of the four pillars. For me, I know that they put Sammy Guevara in their four pillars. For me, it's MJF, Darby, Jungle Boy, and Britt Baker. I feel like that's like easily their top four as far as like young talent. And they're all going to have, they had great 2021s. I'm sure they're going to have just as good or even better 2022s. And like even the young people to look towards for AEW, like, you have your Anna Jay and Tay Contis with the TBS title, they're going to get involved with that. I feel like Jade Cargill's finally going to have a good year next year. I didn't really like what they did with her this year, but I'm hoping next year it'll be better. A lot of young guys, like I know, like a lot of people like joke about him, and we were even talking about him before the show, but Hook, I don't know, like something about him, just he looks like he's going to be something next year. Like just stay on the lookout for him. Even guys like Daniel Garcia, Lee Moriarty, they got a lot of those guys that I would love to see a Young Lions tournament between just all of their young guys. Just as, I don't know if they would ever do that like for the Owen, but I feel like that would be a good concept, kind of like, taking all of your young talent and putting them in that tournament, or make it a separate tournament, whatever you want to make it. But, I feel like half of your roster are, under 30. So, there's so many people to look forward to in 2022 for AEW. And for WWE, like, I know everyone hates it, but like 2.0, they have a lot of, I know.
All right. Sorry, go ahead.
But they, I'm a fan of 2.0 somehow. I really like, of course, like, I think I'm not going to get into the whole NXT versus 2.0 thing, but like, I think a lot of people hate it because they are holding on to that black and gold NXT so much, and that they compare. Once you take the comparison out of the way and you look at the talent that they have, they're truly doing what they can to build stars, if you will. Of course, they're not anywhere near the level of stars now, but you look at guys like Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Toxic Attraction, Tony D'Angelo, my favorite wrestler of all time, Joe Gacy, like all these different, forget about it. Like all these different names are all unique characters. So it makes me interested to see, not really to see how they're, I don't think all of them are going to succeed, but I think a lot of them are going to be brought up to the main roster sooner rather than later, especially with all these releases. Like you're going to need people to fill those spots, so it makes me interested to see like what the landscape of WWE is going to be now that you have all these 2.0 guys rising up. And if you watch the show, like a lot of them are really good. So it makes me interested to see like how they're going to fit in with, are any of them going to go up against Roman, or any of them going to win a title, something to look forward to in 2022, I guess.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that, because the way how it looks like
Oh, you said that with so much disdain. You're like,
I guess I can agree.
I'm sorry. It just
Ivan, when you edit this, please make sure you go back and replay your face right now as I'm talking.
I will be watching
face. Anthony finishes. Anthony's like, yeah, man, something to look forward to 2022. Anthony's just always positive, and Ivan's like, yeah.
It's hard for me to accept 2.0, but I'm trying my best to accept it.
Okay, but you still have to please make sure you put a little clip of yourself in the
zoom
corner.
in.
I want to
Zoom
see
in all the way.
I want to see if my impression takes something.
I'm trying to accept it. It's just it's hard for me to accept 2.0.
I get it. I definitely get it.
There's some
Ivan says anything, we all have to be like, I can agree with you.
Yeah, I guess.
Like 2.0 is like I get why people don't like it. Like I understand that part, but I kind of on the same boat as Anthony, to where like there's some people that kind of stand out to me that I like seeing every week. So that's why once in a while I'll tune in and see it and then see them do their thing. Because some of the talent is creative and some of them are good in the ring. So that's why I tune in. Just like I said, like some of them are kind of cringy, but it's like,
yeah,
I get it.
That's why I tune in and like who I like. I watch the matches that I want to watch. Yes.
You didn't like your opinion, man.
No, I'm on the same wavelength as you. Like, I mean, I watch when there's a match that intrigues me, I'll watch it. Yeah. When I'm done with that match, I may keep on for the next 5-10 minutes. And if there's a segment that doesn't intrigue me, I turn it off. At the end of the day, we can all be positive fans, Ivan.
Mm-hmm.
I am.
We can all be positive fans.
I'm right along with Ivan, though, man. I must say, man, I'm with Ivan, man. I've stopped watching it.
Well, totally. I can agree with you on that. I can agree with you.
I understand why.
But like Anthony said, there are guys, like Nick said, there are guys that stand out. I do like Tony D'Angelo. He's probably the one guy.
Yeah, he's great.
Hey, he's the one guy, like, when this whole thing started, he's the one guy I was like, okay, I'll watch it for him. You know, so like you do have to pick and choose.
One guy could spawn you to 2 guys, could spawn you to 3 guys.
That's what happened with me. I didn't like NXT at first either, but like Tony D'Angelo was my first guy also because like me being an Italian, I'm like, fuck, all right, Sopranos. Fuck it. But then I saw like Joe Gacy and, his whole gimmick is mental. And then like you actually start watching all the in-ring stuff. And I think it's funny that me and Nick are the only guys that like the NXT 2.0 because it's like we're the younger guys here, so it's like already catered to us.
Oh, you roll there, Schnookums.
My nickname is Young Anthony. I kind of have to.
I understand the age limit is probably Ivan first, and then me and Kofi like somewhere in the middle, and then you and Nick rounding out the bottom.
I know. I'm that old. I know. I'm almost 40.
The starting 5.
Oh, man.
You have to take leadership from the veterans, my man. You're not going to get minutes out there on the court.
Hey,
but listen, we don't need another Tony Khan. Check the fucking ego.
Just put a carpet on the floor, man. Just put a carpet on the floor.
Oh, forget about it. What are you talking about? Where's the fucking gravy? Oh my God, my wife, she talks so fucking much. Just make the pasta. Fudge you fucking holy shit. I need a cannoli and 3 espressos. My fucking God.
I mean, shit. I don't 1 and 2.0 is Carmelo Hayes. He's
great.
Yeah, he's great.
I'll give him because even prior to that, he's in the circuit. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy that he stayed and they did not got rid of him because he has a lot of charisma potential that I hope. Yeah, he's gonna be a future star for sure. And
for sure, yeah.
NXT, and I love the whole gimmick, everything. Very cocky. I love that. The one is just that I know that he's great, but he sucks at the mic. Still needs work. Braun Breaker. I'm sorry. He needs.
Wow, really?
I don't think.
I love him on the mic. He just brings that intensity. He's a Steiner. He's just.
Ivan in the morning is not nice. He's not a nice guy.
He gives me cornball.
Go back to bed. Let the young guys talk about wrestling.
Ivan in the morning is so there's no positivity with Ivan in the morning.
I am positive. Hey, Jesus Christ. You're killing me here already, Larry. Come down. You're killing me.
Listen, Ivan, I'm on your side, Ivan. I'm on your side. Don't worry.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Listen, Kofi, you came late to the party, man. You can only be on his side like 40% right now. You can't be on it. But at the end of the day, that's the great thing about stuff like this. We can all be fans, have different opinions.
Totally.
But we can all agree on one thing. No matter what, there's something for everybody. Nick and Anthony being the young pups, apparently, they have their opinions, and their opinions aren't wrong. Ivan, you have your opinions, and just to quote you, I can agree with you on that. I have our opinions, but that's the great thing about we can all sit there and discuss it, and we're not going to shit on anybody. We're not going to make fun of anybody. We're not going to say your opinion's stupid or your opinion's not valid. We're just going to sit there and be like, hey, that's your opinion. At the end of the day, I think everything that 2.0 is one thing. It's entertainment. AEW is one thing. It's entertainment. WWE is one thing. It's entertainment. MLW is one thing. Amazing entertainment. And then there's Impact. That's amazing entertainment. But those are my opinions because those are programs that I gravitate towards. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that a wrestling fan can't appreciate it. And again, I agree with you on that, Ivan. I agree with your opinion.
I fucking love you, man. Kofi, talk to me, baby.
I'm agree with every single person here, especially George, when it comes to every person he said on Impact, as far as Josh Alexander, Hammerstone for MLW. The one thing that did surprise me about WWE was the Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns feud. I actually turned out to actually liked it. You know what I mean? I think Xavier Woods was the most surprising guy for me to do anything pretty good this year. He's going to be a champ
next year for sure.
So
easy.
I'm gonna definitely go with Xavier Woods. He's probably like one of my favorites this year for WWE. It just made sense for them to do it. It all made sense and it all came around in full circle. Even with the Roman Reigns storyline, it still wound up coming back in full circle. So I kind of like that. And as far as my indie circuit, I'm an indie guy. That's what I do. That's where I go. That's all I know. I'm gonna go Darius Carter. Darius Carter, the All Father, man. He's like, if you ask me, he's the greatest technical wrestler out there right now.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm gonna say it. He is the greatest technical wrestler out there right now. He's probably the greatest. Look, he's probably the greatest heel right now.
Yes, you know what? Well, the clips that you guys have put on, he's a good heel, man. He can talk. I'll give you that.
Yes,
sure.
yes.
He can talk.
I can agree with you on that.
And then I'm gonna go for my last breakout. This tag team has really surprised me this year, but the main event. I don't know if you've heard of these guys.
Yes,
the main
I've
event,
heard
they're
of them, yeah.
Great motherfucking tag team. These guys surprised me. They had a great year all year. I think I've seen like them in all of their matches this year. Almost went to all of their matches this year. Just happened to be there. But these guys are some great dudes, Midas and Blaze Lion. And they fought FTR not too long ago in AEW. They fought a lot of great people this year, and those are the guys I want everybody to look for in 2022.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hell yeah. That is awesome.
There's so many people to choose from, especially we do the indie circuit, so it's so many people to choose from the indie circuit. So it's really hard
At least
for me.
your
But
indie circuit gets exposure. Our indie circuit don't get any exposure or any love, and it sucks because there's so much great talent over here, and with the visa issues and all the red tape that these guys have to go through, and the fact, and it's almost like being Canadian, you have to renounce your citizenship to get work in the U.S., and it shouldn't be that way. Your stars can be welcomed here with open arms. Why can't ours?
Yeah, because no one wants to live in the U.S. This is a piece of shit.
Why do you think?
Why would you move from Canada to the U.S.?
No. But in order to be a wrestler, you got to get exposure. That is the place to go, unless you're going to go to Japan. But if you go to Japan, you kind of take the long way around, right? Yeah. Right. To go over there, you know how many great talents have been turned away at the border because of visa issues? Speedball Mike Bailey hasn't been able to shine in the U.S. because of visa issues. But now that Impact's going to clear those up, you're going to watch it. All of a sudden, you're going to see all these Impact fans being like, this Speedball Mike Bailey's a great rookie. Man.
He's a freaking legend, man.
So many years, bro. He's a legend. He's an OG. That's what I mean. Like, the Canadian roster we have over here is fantastic. Like Nick knows. Nick, you had Alexi Nicole on your show. You've had a couple of Canadians on your show. You know how good the talent is over here. Anthony, you're kind of an honorary Canadian. You do a show with a Canuck, so you know this thing. I can agree with you on that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and Kofi's family to me, man. This guy could come over here tomorrow, and he's always got a spot on my couch. But the fact is that that's the difference between Canada and U.S. We welcome. Bring your talent over. We want to see them. But the door's not open on the other side. And that's one thing I hope in 2022 fucking changes. Let the North kick down the door and show you what the fuck we can do. Because there's men and women over here
like
that
I would
a ton of people there.
I'm gonna be honest. I would like to go to indie matches and see more Canadian wrestlers, or see more, not even just Canadian wrestlers. I would like to, not even just Canadian wrestlers. I would like to go to indie matches and see more foreign wrestlers, because you know you don't really see too much. Like in the tri-state area, you're gonna see the same guys over and over, or you might add a guy here or a new guy here and there. But for the most part, on the East, you're gonna see the same people over and over. And so when people add new foreigners, a foreigner, I hate to even say that, or Canadian, I think it makes it a little better for the culture itself, because now you got a bunch of American guys, you got these Canadian and foreign guys. It makes it look like you're international. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the one thing I do hope does change. I gotta agree with you, George. The independent scene has to pick up a little bit. I mean, it's really crowded right now.
Yeah,
it is really packed and crowded right now.
But you can still find your bright spots. So I extended invitation to any four fine gentlemen. You ever want to come to the North and see a show? You got a spot on my couch.
Got you.
No problem.
Appreciate you.
The house is open. My wife will cook some pasta. Anthony and I can have espressos. Oy, seriously, like I recommend. I would cherish to have any of you guys here also, because you're family and we're part of the league.
Thank
but
you,
also,
man.
so you can help us put more eyes on the talent that we have here, because a lot of people are missing out on some amazing men and women.
For sure.
That's one thing that's got to change.
I agree, and that's something that even overall too, and that's the flaw about, you know, with the whole pandemic, what happened, you know, before the year, that it was not enough talent were given this, you know, the opportunity to be put on, you know, or to be on, like on YouTube or, you know, any platform, like social media platform. And now that it's, you know, opening those doors, and I mean, for us here in California, it's been difficult because we only have two promotions right now. Well, one that is SoCal based, and that's PCW. That's like the major one we have right now. That is not coming back. The other ones they're coming from the East Coast, for example, like VSK, they're from the East Coast coming over here. GCW, they're from the East Coast coming over here because they saw those doors open, because not much has been here. And it's, you know, it's unfortunate that us here in the West Coast, which I, you know, myself, the Circle of Base, trying to revive that, reamp that, because we're missing that here. You know, throughout the pandemic, majority of you guys in the East Coast had pro wrestling. I know you had only a little bit of a crowd because, you know, the whole situation. Even zero, right? I mean, zero, right?
No, I'll be honest. If you didn't want to miss wrestling, you didn't have to miss it, because they always had a show. Even during Corona, it was always a show every Saturday.
See,
we didn't have Jersey. That. But you would just have to drive further out to go to those matches. That would be the only thing. But they've always had. They never really stopped too much. New Jersey hasn't really stopped at all.
See, that's the good thing about it, you know. But for us here, it stopped completely, and we had nothing at all. And
I mean, I'm seeing a lot of New York shows even open up now. Like a lot of New York shows are even continuing and adding on. So it's like, it's the better part about that. It's like, even with the new, apparently the new variant, a lot more shows are opening up again.
Yeah,
it's like, doesn't sound right, but a lot more shows are doing it.
But everybody's over it. Everybody's all over it at this point. As a society, as a people, we've done all we can do. Now just let us live our lives. If I gotta walk around wearing a mask for the rest of my life just so I can see some fucking wrestling, I'll do that shit. I'm all to be cliche. I'm all in, and I agree with that.
This is like the catchphrase or like the motto for the league now. Is just
I made that a t-shirt. I made that a t-shirt.
I'm gonna make a t-shirt now. See, now I'm gonna make a t-shirt.
It has to be his face though. It has to be his face like this.
Yes.
Yeah, exact face underneath.
Serious.
Oh my god! But You know, the one who's actually winning me over, and he's not much talked about because of the way how he's doing it. He's been very, very heelish as of late. He's been everywhere. And I have to give him credit's due. And he came from a platform, a big platform, and that's Matt Cardona. What he's been doing right now, you have to give him credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
And then now for him to show up in NWA, I love that heelish. And he was just here too as well, you know, for GCW here in LA. Heelish motherfucker. And I love what he's doing. I cannot wait for his year for 2022. If he could be like a belt collector too, he already has one for, you know, the GCW belt. I don't see him at Impact. I'm sorry, you know, Moose right now's run. You know what? I hate it too. I know. People might get insulted with what I want to say, but Moose's run right now reminds me of JBL's run a little bit.
Thank you. Fuck somebody finally. Thank you.
JBL.
I agree with that. I'm so excited that I can say I agree with that. I do.
Because the way how he
I mean, it's not that exciting.
No, I'm not saying it's not exciting. I'm not saying it's not exciting. It's just I'll be realistic. I'm happy for him that he won, but the way how he won it, I was not happy because I wanted Josh to have his run. At least give him that run. Now you're really gonna start him over to fucking try to get the belt away from him.
Yeah.
And that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Whoever wrote that storyline, Scott D'Amore, I hope it was not you. If you were the final say, you fucked it up. You don't buzz Tony Khan.
I'm on the same boat. I'm on the same boat as that. I'm on the same. Yeah, I'm on the same boat as that. But like, I gotta respect the heel move that he did.
Yeah,
I respect that. I gotta give you hands down for that. You know, like it was not the right time to do it, but like. That's a typical heel thing, and hats off to him for doing it at that moment. So
that's true. That's like Vince Russo booking. Listen, bro, we're gonna put Moose in to swerve him, bro. That's what's gonna get him, and then we're gonna draw. Like you could have just given it to Josh. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh man. But
put the title on a pull, bro.
Even have Moose run out, about to hand in the trophy, and then be like, not yet. And then give me like a month and a half of playing fucking mind games, and then lose it at Hard to Kill. I would have been okay with that, man.
Me too.
Me too. Okay with that. You know what I mean? Just give me a little something. Give me a little taste of Josh as your top tier champion because he fucking deserves that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, he worked his ass off throughout the whole time, and he's like the heart and soul of Impact, in my opinion. You know, he stuck around.
Oh yeah,
a lot of people just left, you know, and so he stuck around. I give also Eddie Edwards too. He's now becoming the heart and soul for Impact. I'm very happy for him. So I'm looking forward for for Impact. Looking forward for them for their rise, like MLW, all these promotions and independent circuits to be on a rise. Because now we're seeing what we wanted to see back in the old school days, the territory days, people working with each other, people going to different promotions and working alongside with each other. I'm hoping that we even see New Japan Strong to be on a rise as well. And I'm talking about the US based, not just Japan based, but also see the US based one to be on a rise. Hopefully Rocky Romero is able to elevate it more than what it is now. And hopefully, because he's the one who's running it along with Shibata. So we'll wait to see that. The same with Corbara. Kane is another rising star from MLW.
I was going to mention it too.
Yes, he's a rising star. When I saw him versus Hammerstone and PCW, it was a fantastic match. Kane has it all.
Yeah, and then you sent me that fucking video of
I was drunk as
talking me.
Hey, I can say I had the honor at least to hang around with Kane and with Jacob Fatu. It was an honor about that. It was an honor.
Oh, fire, definitely fire.
Yeah, definitely. But that's why I cannot wait for myself to go to the East Coast.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing 5150 do more.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of them and Conan, so I would love to see them do a lot more. I was kind of hoping they would go with AEW to do something with PNP, but that's not happening. I kind of want to see it, but I see George's face now. He does not want to see that happen at all. But I kind of want to see it.
I don't agree with you. 5150's got to stay MLW. They have to. Their promos are fire. And Conan, what he's doing with those guys. And what I love the most is everybody's shoes getting stolen.
That's the greatest part
Right.
about it.
Yes.
Everybody's fucking kicks is getting jacked, and it's great. And their promos, when they poured a shot with fucking El Jefe at the last MLW, I marked out. I was like, this is amazing. El Jefe pulls a shot glass. A motherfucker pulls a shot glass out of his pocket like he carries it around with him. It was genius.
Like, no flask, just needs a shot glass.
Just a shot glass, bro. And like their lines and their promos are awesome. Conan,
Yeah.
like we on point like a decimal. Like this is old school shit that you used to hear during the Attitude Era. Now they're bringing it back, and I fucking love it. 5150, do not step foot on AEW because that'll just fucking ruin you. No way. Please don't go there. Don't.
Nah, they should just really focus more on MLW and build that themselves. You know what they have. I wish they had Papo involved in that, but you know, Papo Esco, he's doing his own thing now with PCW, and hopefully, you know, and 5150, they're wrestling, you know, here in California. So I'm looking forward to that. So I just can't wait for every product out there to have a shine for 2022 for sure. But like I said, Cordona for a fact, Kane, MLW, you know, Impact. I still want Josh. I want Josh to be the one and to be the face of Impact. But yes, Moose's run, it does remind me of JBL, like I said, because the way how he wanted, the way how the story's plotted, and hopefully they build that, you know, that story for Josh to win it, and hopefully big, this time really, really big, for him to actually regain it. And I'm hoping that he has a great run when Moose drops the belts back to him. AEW, I gotta give it.
The carpet is all elite.
not the carpet.
Someone made the graphic for that.
It's only the graphics. You know, even though there's oversaturation, but don't be surprised. We will be seeing cuts are going to happen. Or what he's doing maybe too as well, that he's not using them. He's allowing them to work different, you know, promotions, different independent circuits. Like, how do you think?
Doesn't he have a show?
You see, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So
perfect. So Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday are open. He's got 3 more days to fill, guys. You're good. You're good. No problem.
All he needs to do is add another hour to Rampage, and then as he's set, 2 hours Friday. He needs that, because with 1 hour is too much. You can't minimize the, you know, like the matches. You only have 2-3 matches. And why I want 2 hours, because I want the women to have more time. That's what I want. I want the women to have more time in AEW and overall in every promotion. I love what Mickey's doing. I love what Gail's doing. Everything overall what they did in NWA should have opened the eyes of every other promotion. Like Tony Khan, that's the only thing I would say. You should have just have all women's pay-per-view. You have all this talent. You did a collaboration with Choco Pro, you know, in Japan. You could do it here again. You know, you could do that. That's something that even WWE could do as well. You know, I agree with Nick about Liv Morgan. I've been a fan of her, and I hope she gets her moment at Royal Rumble, and I hope she wins it, because it's her time.
I don't think it's her time.
You don't think it's her time?
You don't think so?
I think her time was here, and you know how some people, they have their time and it's right there, and then they just miss it. And I think for me, like, she might get the belt sooner or later. She might get a championship title. She might get whatever, but I just don't think it's gonna hit like it would have hit a couple years ago. You know what I mean? When she first came around. You know what I mean? When she was with Ruby Riott. I don't think it's gonna have the same nostalgia. We're still gonna be happy, but I don't think we're gonna be as happy. You know what I mean?
Again, I get you. I mean, that's the one thing I hate. How they fucking kill it. You know, like how they have a story.
Like for me, I just think, they kill. All right, for me, that's what WWE's done. They kind of killed wrestlers off of me. Like, I don't have the same feeling for wrestlers I had. Like Liv Morgan, I loved Liv Morgan, but now I'm like, whatever. I liked Apollo Crews, but now I'm like, whatever. I like Damian Priest, but now I'm kind of like, whatever. I like Sheamus, but now I'm kind of like, whatever. It just did this thing to me where I was like, I'm not impressed too much anymore by anything they do. You know, maybe that's just it for me.
Yeah. I feel you, because I kind of feel the same way. That's
you were
why
gonna say I agree with that, but you didn't want to say it. You were gonna say it. On that note, I am gonna jump in real quick, gentlemen. It's been an honor and a privilege to be in the league with all of you. But it is 3:30. I got to jump off. Got to go pick up the missus from work. But thank you guys all so much. Keep killing it. You're all doing amazing work. I'm honored to be affiliated with you in any capacity, because you all already know. Nick, the Ring Fanatics has grown astronomically, and you guys are absolutely phenomenal at what you do.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
Anthony, you already know. There's nothing I can't say that hasn't already been said. But please, I mean, when the episode drops, let me know so I can finally see what the fuck we talked about.
Yes,
it's been so long, I don't remember. Kofi, you already know I don't got to say
You already
shit.
know, man. You already know,
Heels of the
man.
north, Heels of the east. We got to get together.
That's it, man.
And Ivan, I agree with you. Everything.
I agree with you.
But mi hermano, mi familia, I love you guys all. I appreciate and love everything you guys are doing, and I'm honored to be affiliated with you. To anybody that's taking the time out to watch this, thank you so much. To watch all of us, thank you so much. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, who you celebrate with, how you love, and who you love. Have a safe and joyous season, and we'll see you all in 2022. And that's it. I'm out. Peace, love, and wrestling, guys. I appreciate you all.
Appreciate
See you,
you,
man.
brother.
Good seeing you, George.
See you, George.
Love that guy, man.
Oh man, I love that guy. But yeah, I'm with you on that. It sucks that then sometimes that does happen. That when they have someone like Liv Morgan and they had her like you mentioned before. Yes, I was really excited for her, especially with the storyline, with Ruby, and then after that, okay, they're elevating her because Paul Heyman was focusing on her at the time, but then that just stopped. I don't know when he was no longer in charge of Raw, and then they buried her. And I get your point. It does hurt to see that, with every other upcoming rising star, especially Bianca's the one that hurt me the most because it's not. How can you come back to that? How can you work that out now with the crowd?
I look at it like they did Bianca Belair kind of like they did Asuka.
Yeah.
That was and now they're scrambling, trying to figure out how to keep her afloat. That's what it is to me. Now they're just scrambling, trying to figure out, all right, she sells this amount of merch. Well, how can we keep her afloat? How can we keep her relevant? But
for sure.
That's just me. Like I kind of just stopped watching WWE altogether. I'll watch SmackDown the last 15 minutes. That's about it.
Yeah. That's all you need. That's all you need. Either the first 15 or the last 15.
I think
we know why.
I think Buddy Murphy said it once how like he watches like a 3-minute recap video and that's all he needs to do to watch Raw. A 3-minute 3 minutes and that's it. That's all he needs.
I do a show reviewing WWE, and for the last few weeks, I've literally watched. They have the 3-minute version on YouTube, and that's all I need to review the show. Like that's what it comes down to. Like,
and that's kind of bad, man. If you can review a show in 3 minutes. I mean, there's nothing to talk about, or just no one's really into it enough to talk about it.
Yeah.
I hope they do better in 2022, man. Please, definitely do better, man.
I agree.
The firings made them look really weak, silly. I think just trying too hard to compete with AEW when they didn't need to.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think that they didn't need to. You already the number one dog on the mountain. You're the number one person on the mountain. There's no reason to compete. The AEW can do whatever they need to do for years and years and years. It's still gonna be the number one on the mountain. So I just don't understand why they started changing and revamping and trying to get with this new thing. I understand if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping they do better in 2022.
Yeah.
I hope so too.
Just try to start doing like change and then just make it consistent instead of like, oh, this is one great storyline, one great build to a pay-per-view, and then just like the next one's like, okay, we have Crown Jewel, let's just book a fantasy match that no one wants to see. And then
yesterday was the 3-year anniversary of when the McMahons came out and they said that you are the authority. I think that's just a funny thing to note where we are now. Like all of that has happened since then. It's weird to see, but like you guys said, like I really hope we get like I don't know. I mean, it makes me interested to see like where we're gonna go from here, because if we've already gotten so many cuts and we've already gotten so much BS, it makes me think like if they're doing numbers and they're getting as much money as they are, like, are we really expecting change?
Exactly.
They still have a 3-year, they still have a 3-hour Raw that they have to film. They're probably never going to change that because it brings in money. They have all the Fox deals and the Saudi Arabia money, and they have record-setting numbers, and they have all these guys. Like, we could say, I really hope that there's change and this and that, but with the way that it's going and where Nick Khan has changed so much of the landscape and how much he's going to play in 2022, I feel like he's the X factor of 2022 is Nick Khan, because if you guys know, day one, that show is his idea, and they're trying to put that as one of like the big level pay-per-views. So if he's already trying to play into the creative and he's already done so much on the business end, it makes me like kind of expect that nothing's going to happen. And maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need to expect that nothing's going to change so that something changes, because for the last few years, we're like, oh, I think something's going to change. And then everything stayed the same. So I really don't know what to expect from WWE at this point.
I mean, I started seeing some like differences, I guess, because I know they got rid of TLC. I think they got rid of Extreme Rules next year, or one of those theme pay-per-views. So that's already gone in what we wanted already. Because we already know they don't follow that rule. They don't follow that type of stuff anymore.
Right.
Like we had Extreme Rules and only one Extreme Rules match out of like almost 10 matches. And now that's gone, maybe. I think so. But there was another one of those matches, pay-per-views that are gone. So I guess if that's the beginning of it, maybe we won't see a whole much of change next year. Maybe it'll take time to do that. Maybe by the end of 2022, we get very little change. And then it continues to change in the course of the next 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, this is just the beginning.
Do you think they have 5, 6, 7 years to wait for change when there are companies that are kind of on the rise and trying to take their spot? Like, imagine if Ring of Honor comes. Just saying, Ring of Honor comes back in full force.
Yeah.
Whole new revamp cast, revamp wrestlers, everything revamp, and they come back in full force.
So here's what it comes down to, right? For me, people have always said, oh, AEW is like, they could overthrow WWE and do all this. The fact of the matter is, like, we could say for, forever that AEW is going to take over WWE. It's never going to happen. And there's never going to be a company that will take over WWE, because WWE is an entertainment company. With the amount of money that they're bringing in yearly, and with the amount of just their history, their lineage, all of this with the McMahon name associated with it, there's no chance that AEW ever comes close to taking the top spot as it's always, you look at the sports teams and what are they wearing? A WWE title, after they win a championship. It's never an AEW title. It's never going to be another AEW title.
No, it's changing. It is changing.
I mean, very slowly,
changing.
But I mean, what was it? The MLB that just signed on a contract with WWE to be the official championship, so it's tough to say something like that. So with the amount, I think WWE is too big to fail at this point. They are an entertainment company. Wrestling has taken a backseat.
Yeah, you gotta also think they are the main people who put wrestling in the households.
Yeah, without WWE, we wouldn't be talking right now.
So like I always tell people, it'd be a while before WWE, like 6, 7 years. WWE can do whatever they want in 6, 7 years. It don't matter. They can trash the whole company 7 years, but they would still be WWE.
They're never going away with a buyout, whatever it may be. The top dog will always be WWE until maybe a decade from now, Tony Khan just goes crazy and starts getting other partners and all of this. Until you see like a drastic change in how AEW formats, not as a wrestling company, but as an entertainment brand, you're never going to see anything other than WWE as the top dog. And that's just how it is. Like ROH, you can pump in as much money as you want. You can make all the changes. Like, although I would love to see a new top dog just for a little bit of variety, fucking never going to happen.
No.
But WWE is the top dog when I could turn on the TV right now. I have not seen an AEW toy commercial, but it is around Christmas time. And I promise you, I've seen 13 or 14 WWE toy commercials.
Absolutely.
And all for new products that's coming out and all of this. Like, they might not be the biggest name as far as wrestling goes right now, or the most popular right now. You know what I'm saying? It might not even be what people want right now, but WWE is going to be around for years and years to come. It's like, it's nothing you're going to be able to do. They like Def Jam. They like it's just simple as that,
Yeah,
that's real talk. And the thing is, that remind you that WWE has a bigger market and they're a very bigger market value because they're a public traded company. AEW is not. They're a private owned company, family based.
Absolutely.
So they have their focus is on the PG era and also transitioning into this new modern, era of society What do you think? Like, you know, 2.0, I consider it to be for the next generation coming up. It's kind of like, you know, like how back in the days we went from the golden era to the next generation.
Golden era to the silver age,
Yeah.
to the bronze era and all of that. Yeah,
Yes.
I dig it.
Yeah, and that's what I see. You know, and
I think for me, all right, NXT 2.0 has a bright future. I just want to say that. But I think one thing they should do is like get characters that relate to now.
Yes.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
You remember that, right?
Yeah. Get characters that relate to now. Like, it's so many indie guys I could name that have great characters that could be on WWE because you can relate to them outside of wrestling. You can relate to them as a
for
person,
sure.
probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the thing that WWE, NXT is missing for me. I like the gimmicks. I like the fact that they're bringing them back because everybody was using their real names for a long time. And you know, it just became a kind of saturated with that. But I do like the fact that they're bringing it back and they're bringing like the little gimmick wrestling back. You know, the character.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think it's so funny. I think it's so funny that like when you compare I mean, obviously like the two top dogs right now are AEW and WWE, however way you look at it. When you look at their young talent, like how we're talking about right now, like who to look forward to, it's just weird that like on the WWE side, you know, they are very character based and not as far as like as much as I love 2.0, like those guys like aren't, you know, top as far as like in-ring competitors and technical base and all that, but they have really good characters from what I've seen so far. So it's very character based. Whereas you look at AEW, and as much as they are great as far as wrestling, you have guys like Wheeler Yuta and Hook and Daniel Garcia. They don't have characters whatsoever, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like you look at where they're going. I think that's very telling of like where you see WWE and where you see AEW next year is that like, just look at their young guys. Look at what they're building towards. These are guys that are focused in, you know, AEW more on the wrestling, for WWE more on the characters, and even like I completely forgot to mention like, you know, people to look forward to. Well, maybe not look forward to, but look towards in 2022. It's a weird thing to mention, but that next in line program that WWE are doing with all the collegiate athletes. That's something also like to just take into consideration. Like these are guys that are coming out of college, you know, no wrestling experience whatsoever. And, you know, they just have the look to them. So it's just things to keep in mind when we're thinking about change. And if we are going to see change, like, honestly, I'm at the point where it's like, you might just see WWE and AEW just like staying afloat. You won't really see much of a difference. And I mean, that's just the way it is, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. And you mentioning that. See, like how WWE is trying to be like you know, I mean, they are their own entity, but like how you see how they're trying to be like a actual, you know, sports entertainment, like how NFL, you know, MLB, NBA, how they draft people from college to go to, you know, to that organization, and it's almost the same how WWE is trying to do it because they don't want no longer independent circuit, you know, wrestlers that are on a rise all over the scene, but they want to build their own product, their own entity. They're like their own person. So I don't think it's so much of them building their own entity or building something. I think it's more of having control over this person.
Absolutely.
Or I was about to get to that. I can take
that.
this name and do whatever I want with this name. I can take this merch.
That is true.
I think it's more of that because the indie guys, they know their worth. They know what their talent is. They know what all it is. Whereas these new guys is supposed to be these, you know, the new upcoming stars. They don't really have too much on the indie circuit, so they don't know what's going on. They don't really know, okay, you're supposed to get paid this or you can get, you know. So I think it's more of that for me when it comes to NXT, you know, with the new character.
Yeah, totally.
I agree with that 100%. Because they're looking for their next Randy Orton, the next Brock Lesnar, the next John Cena. Yeah. That's what they're looking for because
which isn't a bad thing.
I'm not saying
because they've done that for years.
Yeah, I've always heard people like, you know, that's why I mentioned earlier on, like people I feel like are very toned out of like the whole 2.0 thing is because like they compare it to the black and gold. But the way you look at it, like name me one of the former black and gold NXT champions that have really been a star compared to Orton and Lesnar and Cena. Like you really can't name anyone outside of maybe Rollins. Like, you know,
Adam Cole.
Moxley was never champion. Plus he was
Adam
never
Cole
really
is probably the
in
closest
NXT.
one.
Yeah, but like on the level of like, you know, Cena and Lesnar, like that's really, I think, what they're going for now, because I think they're starting to realize, like, ever since Undertaker was retired and now you're starting to see like Cena and Lesnar, like they probably know like we need other guys other than just Roman Reigns. So that's probably their intention now for 2.0. And it's not a bad thing.
I think they started too late.
They did.
You know,
they absolutely did.
I think they could have been. I think they could have been. I think when this whole NXT thing started, when they first had NXT, they could have been making stars then. And I dig what Triple H was doing, making the stars. I think it was dope. But I think Vince McMahon's just not into this indie scene. I just don't think he's into this indie scene. I think once AEW came, they started scrambling, trying to start making new stars, because AEW literally, they didn't make any new stars. They just took people who were stars and put them on a bigger platform.
Yeah,
well, I think
exactly.
One thing I just want to say is that, like, I think they kind of went all in on the indie stuff when AEW started up, because that's when NXT started, you know, the 2-hour show and everything. I think that's when they were like, okay, we need to compete with AEW. And then it failed, obviously, because AEW was bound to be like the most watched show. And then that led to them kind of doing away with NXT Black and Gold and going to 2.0. So maybe they did kind of, you know, try to put more of a focus on NXT, like, you know, the indie wrestling. Obviously they didn't do a good job with it, but you know, that's where we are now, to be honest.
I think that started like with the especially the indie signings is when, I think it was back when they first signed, like, I mean, Sami Zayn was part of it from the beginning, but when it was Owens, Balor, and everyone past that.
Hideo
because they got
Itami.
the big names, and then once they got signed, those guys, and then once they got signed, it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then everyone wanted to go. There was one point before AEW where everyone wanted to go to NXT. NXT was the place to be. Then AEW came along, and it was both places. Everyone wanted to go to either or. And then again, when the war started, I think that's when it got picked up even more for NXT and WWE, and then they wanted to pick it up and let's go all out. No pun intended, but like we'll go all in on that stuff. Right. So I guess that wasn't their intention. I just happened to get big by signing these indie guys, because no one not even me. I didn't expect Nakamura, a New Japan star, to go to NXT. That was the last person I thought would get signed to NXT, because of the whole point of NXT was to begin to create stars. Because kind of what NXT 2.0 reminds me of was the early NXT days before all those signings. Like Seth Rollins, yes, he was a Ring of Honor guy. He was big in Ring of Honor as Tyler Black. But then he also had grown NXT and WWE guys. Bo Dallas, Bray Wyatt, Tyler Breeze, Big E. All those guys were all WWE and NXT grown guys and had a very little to minimum of experience in wrestling. So I think that's where they messed up, was signing all these big names. And now everyone wants to go to NXT.
Exactly.
And I think that should have been the issue to begin. I don't want to say that's where they messed up, but that's where they shouldn't have gone. And I think they should have continued with developing their own stars. And because with that next in line program, all these collegiate athletes who have no wrestling experience, like I said before, they've been doing that for years. Roman Reigns, football player. Big E, football player. Charlotte Flair, volleyball player. Bianca Belair, track and field. All these people had no wrestling experience. So I'm not mad at this program, but it was kind of too much for me. Either way, it's like 15 basketball players, football players, track and field. It's like, what? But it was, I get what they're trying to do. And, you know, it's got to see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm with you on that 100%, because I guess maybe that's where they fell off, because how you mentioned, like, okay, they had that already, because, you know, when they transitioned from FCW and then did it NXT, and then they barely gave it to the platform or the network, you know, exposing these new talent, then they started signing people from Ring of Honor, and I think they fell off from that. Maybe that could have been the flaw, and maybe you know, Paul Levesque probably forgot about that. But they still had the opportunity to do that. You have Main Event, you have 205 Live. You can take at least one of them and make that as your FCW, or your next in line program that you can put on the network. Now they have it on Peacock, they're able to do that. They should have done that as well. They had that opportunity to do that and still have the NXT we have. Like I said, I'm barely, my heart is opening for 2.0. And I'll be honest, it's opening little by little. it just I just didn't like how that quick transition happened.
Yeah,
so quickly.
that was
No, that's
I
very
That's the
definitely
only
agree with
thing.
him.
Yeah, that's what
I agree.
It caught me off
definitely
guard.
agree.
Yeah, it
I
caught me off
agree.
guard. So I mean, and it's I wish something for the best for 2.0, and I see them, you know, like Braun Breaker's gonna be the star for sure. Carmelo Hayes gonna be Tony D'Angelo. I see these guys coming up. The Furies like Cameron Grimes. What about him? You know, what about LA Knight? You know, those are the ones I'm major, concerned of.
Pete Dunne.
And Pete Dunne as well, and that's another one.
Yeah.
And then when another concern is NXT UK, what's gonna happen with that too? Are there, that's another scary moment there. If they got phenomenal stars up there, so imagine if they shut that down, then what's next over there? There's nothing.
They're already looking to bring Walter to the main roster, I heard.
Yeah.
Which is,
He doesn't want to. He don't want to move to the States. He wants to stay, where he lives at.
I heard he divorced his wife.
That's right.
And he's dating a wrestler from the United States.
Yes, from the UK.
Yeah.
Yes,
I saw that picture. I saw that picture. Yeah.
And he said he's open to take bookings in the United States. So I'm not sure about that, but Walter coming to the States would be cool. It would give the WWE a little push where it would give us some good matches. We could get to see some dream matches.
Oh man, I want to see him. I want to see him and Lesnar. I'm sorry, I just want to see.
Yeah, I would love to see him and Brock. That's the only match I would like to see with Walter.
That's the one that I'm like, I'll be excited for.
Him with Sheamus, him and McIntyre.
Oh yeah, him and McIntyre. They go way back.
McIntyre's a given. They got to do. They should have shipped, bro. If the pandemic never happened, you should have gotten like Walter and Balor, Walter and McIntyre. Like without the pandemic, I feel like NXT UK would be huge right now. But
for sure. The crowds in the UK are ridiculous.
They're always loud.
Yeah,
definitely. Now with AEW though, see, they're like I said, they're oversaturated. They have flaws too. When you mentioned earlier about story, about creating story, creating characters, they still need to work on that. They have a lot to work on that. I can tell you the biggest flaws that I've seen recently from them is these draws. I don't like this draw shit. Adam Page should have one period. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. Adam Page should have one period.
Yes,
Brian,
I know. I agree.
Put him over because you wasted 1 hour. The crowd was not happy. I wanted to be happy either.
I agree.
1 hour.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a fucking an hour in a draw. I don't want to see that no more.
Yeah.
They need to move forward with that. Stop.
The only way, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but the only way that I would be happy with the draw thing is if it leads to a triple threat between Omega, Page, and Bryan Danielson. At some pay-per-view for the title. With no drama limit. That would be the only way I'd be happy with this draw. But otherwise, if it doesn't happen, then what was the point?
So here's I agree.
Fellas, I gotta go.
Oh, no problem.
See y'all later. I gotta go meet these girls. I love y'all. Merry Christmas. I love you, TITANTRON, Anthony, Nick, Ivan. I love y'all. Merry Christmas from the Dirty Hills, man. I'm glad to be a part of this, man. I love y'all guys, man.
Good seeing you,
man. See you, man.
See y'all later.
Much love, man. Happy holidays, brother. But yeah, you were saying, Anthony?
So what I will say is, yes, I didn't like the draw either. I feel like they should have just put the win on Page, but the Turnbuckle Tavern guys always find a way to make me a little more positive about AEW things because they're always pro AEW. So what they did say was that them doing the draw helps in the favor of making Danielson like a huge threat, because now you see that, he went 30 minutes with Omega. Omega couldn't finish the job. He went 60 minutes with Page. Page couldn't finish the job. Outside of that, he's beaten everyone else. So now that kind of leads up to whenever someone does pin Danielson, it means something more. I think Page should have just beat him, but if they're going in the route of this is the angle of, no one can really out wrestle Danielson, I'm kind of in favor of it. It just means that whoever beats Danielson, they really have to make sure it means something. But I'm of the belief that I think that draws, especially in the instance of Page and Danielson, they're almost like a cop out. It's like, I feel like Khan was kind of like, I don't really know who to go over. Like Danielson is undefeated, but Page is my champion. And I feel like that's a huge flaw with AEW right now, is that they aren't just going 100% in on guys, especially ever since Danielson and Punk came in, because by now either Punk or Danielson should have lost by now. But now, especially with this whole Punk and MJF thing, you would think that MJF is going to be the one to pin Punk. But next week, we're getting a 6-man tag, which means that, unless they do MJF and Punk again, which I'm sure they will, this is just a way for Punk to get a win, because, they aren't just going in on MJF, which makes me think that now we might even get, Punk beating MJF, which shouldn't happen. So I don't know. I feel like a thing with AEW is like they really went in on the talent that they have, your MJFs and Darby and Jungle Boy. But like next year, really, now that you're bringing in those WWE guys like Punk and Danielson and Cole, you really need to find that balance. And the balance should be more in the favor of growing your younger guys that have been with AEW for so long. And like, don't be afraid to give CM Punk and Bryan those losses every now and then, because they can't be undefeated for the entirety of the year. Like someone has to beat them. If you do that, you're just setting yourself up for failure, because it's like, okay, Punk's going to win. Danielson's going to win. Like, that's my one thing with AEW right now, is just like, get better with your booking.
You see it precisely. It's a double-edged sword, what you mentioned about Adam and Bryan. You want to protect them because of the loss, but how are you gonna put your main champion, who is the face of your product, to be over? You're making him not really the strongest man. I mean, they fought for over 60 minutes, but you have to put your champion over.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to, because he's gonna be.
There were many points where I thought Danielson was gonna win it. And I'm like, they're definitely gonna give him another shot at least, and maybe win the second time around.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
I agree with you guys. Like, I think Hangman should have pinned him to give him that first loss. But unless they're planning something different, like I said, the triple threat, then maybe I wouldn't be that mad at the draw.
Yeah.
But other than that, they have no plan with this draw thing. Then what was the point?
If they do head to that direction, Nick, I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
I would like to see that. And then Adam to go over them, both of them, then it'll make sense. Why?
Yeah, that would be huge.
Yeah,
that would be huge. Then it makes a lot of sense that happens. So definitely. Then with MJF, he will be the first one. I see he's gonna be the one giving CM Punk his loss. After that, then MJF,
It has to be.
It has to be. And then 2022, he'll be a future champion. I think he's gonna go
for sure.
He's gonna have to. Yeah, he's after beating CM Punk, or let's just say he could be the first one to give Bryan and CM Punk the first loss. Maybe that could happen too. You never know. But I feel MJF, his year's coming. 2022 is going to be his year for AEW, and I'm with you that they should focus more on their rising, their stars that they have, that they want to elevate, not just only former WWE guys. And let's hope that stays. I hope it happens. And but like I said, I mean, this 2022 for AEW has to be their pillars for sure. And I'm hoping we see MJF, maybe a future world champion. If not the AEW, at least the TNT. I'm not hating on Sammy that has it. I love it. But if you want to make that belt more interesting and intriguing, then there you go. Have MJ win it.
Totally.
Let him run with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
But yes, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We are done here for this evening. Everybody left already. We're the last 3 years. But man, what a Christmas special, man. I really want to say I love you guys a lot, man. And
I got you, man.
part of the league, man. And it's without you guys and without Straight Talk, Dirty Heels, all the ones right behind me. Without all of these, we would not have this incredible group that we have, and how we have grown throughout the 2 years that we have grown. And I cannot wait for the third year, how big it's going to get. A lot of good plans are coming for 2022 for the league itself, because I'm not going to spoil it, but a lot of big plans are coming. So be expecting that for sure. Now, before I let you guys go, I'll start with you, Nick. Let the people know where can they find Ring Fanatics podcast, brother.
You can find the Ring Fanatics on Spotify and YouTube. Just type in the Ring Fanatics podcast, and you could find us on there. We are also on Instagram and Twitter. Just search up the Ring Fanatics on both platforms, and you can see all the content that we post on all the episodes that we come out. We had an interview recently with Jimmy Jacobs. Joel interviewed Jimmy Jacobs, so you can go listen to that interview. And that was our most recent episode. So yeah, you can find us on all those platforms. Give us a subscribe, a follow, a like, a comment on all of our episodes. Whatever you can do to support us. And yeah, you can find us there.
Absolutely, man. And I love it because, ladies and gentlemen, they have incredible content. You have to see, you have to subscribe, and make sure you guys do. And all the description will be below. Everyone's platforms will be there. Already the link tree or anything else where you can subscribe to YouTube or the audio platforms. Make sure you follow them. They also buy their merch. They have great merch
too. Yeah.
So don't forget. Yeah. Young Anthony, even though you kind of looks like you're frozen on my side, but
oh, did I freeze?
Oh, you good. I see you.
All right. There you go.
as long as I'm not frozen, that's all good.
Okay.
But yes, I am the man of 1,000 podcasts, so bear with me. But first, I want to plug Turnbuckle Tavern because we're growing a lot. One of our interviews actually just got picked up from Fightful. We did a Beer City Bruiser interview and it got picked up, which I'm really happy for them. But they are doing some amazing stuff. They post content like almost every day. We're really consistent with what we do. I'm actually the host of the Raw Down, which is your only source for all things WWE at the Tavern. So definitely follow everywhere that you can find Tavern stuff. Buy the merch. We have like so many shirts. So, definitely get a shirt. Then of course, classic match classroom. We're on a bit of a hiatus. I don't know when we're going to bring it back, hopefully soon, but basically, me being a younger fan, I am kind of watching a lot of the most iconic matches and rivalries for the first time, thanks to the professor himself, Tyler Wolf, over at Count It Out, which is also a part of the league. You can definitely follow them as well. So our Instagram is at Classic Match Classroom. Twitter is at CM Classroom, and you can subscribe and follow us everywhere that your podcast can be found. We have about like 10 or 11 episodes right now with some of the greatest matches of all time that you should definitely go ahead and check out. And I won't bring out Hollywood to plug the Titantron. You can see enough of him everywhere else I do podcasting, but I will say that the Titantron is also going to be coming back. I have about like 4 podcasts I'm doing right now, and I need to cut down on the amount that I'm doing. But I do a bit too much. I need to start cutting down. But this winter break is going to be big because Titantron is coming back in some capacity. Still trying to figure out if I'm doing co-hosts, if I'm doing different graphics or anything, I'll figure it out. But I'm definitely bringing it back. It's your number one source for all things. You get your information and you get the hell out of your podcast. So definitely expect to see this logo coming back very soon. I've already reset my Instagram pictures, so that means something big is going to happen. But you can follow me on Instagram at the Titantron Podcast. Follow me on Twitter at _Titantron. You can buy my merch at the TitantronPodcast.creator-spring.com. All the links are in my link tree. Probably will be in the description below. And listen to all the episodes that I have. Although some of them are not good, I have to go in and clear out some of those episodes because some of my early work is not good.
I think we all have that, man.
Yeah, we all had those.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's like I look back on my old episodes, I'm like, shit, I said that. Let me delete that before someone hears that. But nevertheless, I want to thank you guys so much for always everything with the league. I want to be open to all collaboration with not just you guys specifically, but all the people that are on that graphic behind Ivan. I'm looking forward to a lot of collaboration this year. This year I had a lot of stop and start. Yeah, definitely show those logos. I had a lot of stop and start this year, but I want to really get back on it and definitely work with each of those amazing podcasters. And I think 2022 is going to be a big year for wrestling, but an even big year for podcasting because I think we got a lot of great stuff going on. Even plans that I've been saying that I don't know about. And excuse me, I'm one of the members of the league.
Yeah,
I should be knowing about these plans, but we'll talk about it off camera. But
yes, we will.
But again, guys, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to all the listeners. Thank you
everyone
for
listening.
watching, and I'll throw the boa and the glasses on. I won't go too much into character now, but I do want to say that you should be seeing a lot of Hollywood in the future. Maybe not on these two podcasts, because nothing is as good as the TITANTRON podcast, #1 source for all things wrestling. But until then, fuck you.
What a way to end, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we thank you so much for tuning in and watching here, the League of Extraordinary podcast. And on behalf of the remaining members that left earlier, we all here do not just do podcasts. We all here do, and when we make, it's history.
That is correct.